So at some point during the week, kind of probably like Tuesday, Wednesday analogy. I can't remember. Don't have the calendar up. Babette would kind of wherever he might be.
If it's still early morning to mid-afternoon, it would probably be in the middle of practicing Dancing with Rue.
She'd probably wait until...
Yeah, I'd imagine there's breaks within the 8 hours, so...
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I guess. So yeah, at one of those breaks, she would just come up to Xarmon. Xarmon, I have something I'd like to talk to you about.
Xarmon slightly tilts his head. Huh? Well, I have a few minutes.
Okay. So, you know when we were gathering things in the garden at the Maravesi Manor, and you'd asked if I'd ever lied to you, and I said I hadn't? Well, unfortunately, that in itself was a lie. But now that we've learned all of this, she kind of makes a vague gesture. I now apparently have permission to tell, but also would have probably told you anyway, that my being there to meet you guys after the airship crash was no accident. I was hired to infiltrate and ingratiate myself with the group. Unbeknownst to me, it was Brave Albion behind that. So...
I kind of figured after they mentioned you doing work for Brave Albion when we were there.
Yes. First, I wasn't...
Still been pleasant to see Eliza there, though.
It was a complicated feeling. It's become very pleasant, though. Especially now that I have just decided to forego all professionalism and actually like the people I'm with.
If there's anything I can do to make it an easier process, I guess.
It's not so much that I need assistance in it being an easier process. I just wanted to apologize for my deception so far.
Yeah, and it's a step in the right direction. And just uncomfortable for sitting there at things happen. And by the end, nothing bad came of that lie, right?
So far, so good.
Xarmon nods.
So confused by how trusting and loving you all are.
I think you're still staring kind of weird. What's it this time?
Impressed at how well you make friends.
Well, we're gonna be standing together a lot. Why make it complicated?
a breath of fresh air in Olive Ale.
Yeah, I'm still.
What was that,
But
sorry?
it seems, I'm still confused by all the weird antics in here, but every place.
Very true. If you do need any help preparing for the ball, I am the resident expert, it would appear.
Thank you.
But I'll let you and Rue get back to your dancing.
I was actually about to make some.
Oh.
You could have one.
I'm always excited to try your cooking.
Xarmon nuts.
What is it that made you want to learn to cook?
Oh, always decided a while ago, but a little reluctant to say, but well, you're kind of it saw the reason why. I just wanted to find my own way to make people smile like she does.
She really is a she.
Always has been, from what I remember.
You two complement each other.
Xarmon nuts. Well, when you grow up with family, things seem to be in some weird ways sometimes.
I can imagine.
Well, since you did mention a childhood thing, some childhood antics that you and Eliza did, I could share some of what Rue and I have done, or even Zell and I, some regard. But I would say interesting.
Love to hear them.
So one time, and then as he some of the stories, how we weren't allowed to have pets in the lighthouse, and after a certain point, and then Rue lied to Arthur. And the reason why she even had the bird is because it was injured, and Xarmon and Rue were helping it get better for it to fly away.
Eat.
And then after a week of taking care of it, and the occasional lie whenever he came to check in what we were doing, yeah, the bird got well. Rue was sad to see it go, but she was happy that it was able to go.
It kind of seems like Rue would have more animals than she could handle if she was allowed to.
Yeah.
Her and
Yep.
And what was kid?
Well, I'm not sure how much Zell has mentioned it, but do you know the difference between a regular elf and a Lasaran?
Yes, we did briefly touch on that when I
Okay.
talked to him after his.
You can say the Lasaran side really showed as a kid.
Tiny Pridwin.
No way. but it wasn't from being broken, but more of it was never really.
He seems to have grown into things very.
Yeah.
From what I've heard, from what little I've heard of when he was younger.
It certainly would have been better for him. Though it's come with its own trials. Like getting a shotgun wedding.
I do. There and all. Although he seems to have.
Yeah. And him, it was something that was bound to happen anyway. Steps don't look for 1 minute and he's off doing something. He fixates on my.
It can be useful sometimes, but it can also be distracting. But it's part of his charm, I think.
Yeah, and I would be lying saying I've never done that before. So
And again, if you're not comfortable, or if you aren't comfortable talking about it, did you get into any kind of shenanigans when you were a kid, or was it mostly Rue leading the way?
it's mostly one of those two leading the way. I always followed.
Made sure they were okay? You're good at that.
I'd like to think so.
While I was actually taking notes on the dynamics of the group, that was, I believe, one of the most prominent ones I had on you. You seem to care for the group almost above yourself sometimes.
Huh?
Sometimes you have to prioritize yourself to be able to take care of others, right?
It's something I'm slowly working on.
Well, if you ever need help learning how to take care of yourself, some great bubble baths will be the first one.
His snout kind of crinkles at that. I don't know if I'd be a big fan.
Have you ever tried one?
No, I guess it wouldn't hurt to try once, but going in with this mindset I already have, that was
We'll start small. We'll work.
Okay. By the time Xarmon makes the snacks, passes some between you and Rue, and then whoever else happens to be there, because one would probably end up ending up going to Vladimir.
Mm-hmm.
Was there anything else you needed?
Nothing I can think of right now.
I think you know where to find me.
That I do.
Xarmon nods before heading back to practice with Rue. Let's see.
Scene.